Welcome back everybody to another video. I am Flash and this is another Marvel Snap video. Appreciate y'all for joining me here, and if you could just like and subscribe, I'd very much appreciate it. Goes a long way, but you already know that. Housekeeping though. Anyway, so this video I want to talk about what I have been playing mostly the past week and what is arguably still the best deck in the game. Now, that being said, I would like to give I guess, honorable mention, right, to a deck that I feel is positioned as still arguably like in that number 2 range of deck. It's arguably one of the best decks in the game still. And as soon as I find it here, I'll just put up the Inchinaut deck. Now, this is a deck that I showcased last week as it is still a top tier deck. I did mention the possibility of it having room to maybe lose some points due to Mobius coming back into the game. That is not the case. This Inchinaut deck is still very good. It's still a top tier deck, and my win rate has only increased since the last, over the last week I've been playing this deck, close to 100 games. I'm at a 67% win rate with this deck. Okay. I took out Cosmo and put in Rogue to account for, of course, Ongoing has become very popular again. Miss Marvel, all of that stuff. Rogue was clapping all of those things. It was great. So not much need for Cosmo, but definitely a increased need for Rogue. This deck is still very good, still performs very well. However, it is still taking a backseat to Loki. Now, should come as no surprise that Loki is still the best deck in the game. I think that Loki is one of those decks that, because it has so many opportunities to pivot and go in a different direction, is what makes it so good. It's versatile. It does a lot of different things. Simple things, right? I think this particular version, I've been playing this deck to about a 65% win rate, about 50-60 games or so over the past few days. And the first 10 games I played I won 9 of them. I understand why this deck is so good. I understand why Loki is so good. I understand why even if they increase Loki to being a 5+ card, it'll still be the best archetype in the game, and Loki will still be an S tier card, right? I think the only way to really take a huge blow to Loki is to remove the cost reduction, that's going to be the nerf that they eventually have to make to Loki. And then, of course, at that point, you're just going to put Quinjet back in these decks comfortably. But of course, there's a bunch of decks that run Quinjet already with Loki doubling up on the cost reduction. Now, I think this is the best deck. I think this is one of the decks that Lambie put together, and it has Werewolf by Night, which is very good. It's very easy to manage space in this deck because you have Beast and Falcon bouncing things back to your hand. And on top of that, you can go real low. I've had one turn where turns where Werewolf by Night went from a base 3/3 to a 3/9 in one turn. Just because you can play Forge, Maria Hill, Nico, Snowguard, all in one turn, and it just bounced to bounce to bounce. I've had games where Werewolf by Night is easily a 3/15, which is bonkers. And if you think for a second that Werewolf by Night is not getting nerfed because of this, you're not paying attention. This card is getting nerfed. They'll probably either change it to where it's only giving +1 power every time it moves, or they'll change the numbers on the base, the stats on the card, where it might go down to like a 3/1 and keep the +2, or it'll go to like a 3/5 ish maybe and go down to only giving +1. Or they might just do something radical, change it to a 4 cost. Who knows? They could go in a few different directions, but believe that this card is getting an adjustment. There's no way this card stays the way it is right now. It's one of the best cards in the game currently at what it does. It's too easy to get to a 3-9 or 3-12 and 3-15. Too easy. Like I said, this deck is good. This deck on turn 1 wants to do kind of anything in the 1-drop range. You could play Snow Guard. You can play Forge depending on what you have in hand. If you have Collector in hand and you got Forge, go ahead and play Forge on turn 1. Collector is going to get that +2 on the next turn, and then you're off to the races. You could fail safe. I've had to just play Snow Guard on turn 1. Again, also the reason why this deck performs very well, America Chavez. You're seeing all your cards. You're seeing Loki. You're seeing Collector. You're seeing Werewolf by Night most games, which is backbreaking for your opponent. Heck, one of the games I just played earlier that I won, my opponent was playing an ongoing deck. I was playing the other version of this deck right now, which Johnson has made popular with the Zabu build around it, and it has Quinjet in it. And I had Quinjet on the board and Collector on the board and played Loki, and they were playing an ongoing deck. I had a full hand when I did it, and I was able to play their Ant-Man, their Miss Marvel, their Mr. Fantastic. I played like 5 cards in their hand out of their deck on turn 6 and just completely wrecked them. It was great. So that being said, this is Loki's the best, okay? And I want to get into some games here before after I talk about this deck a little bit more. Jeff is here just because Jeff is good, right? Rogue can steal Miss Marvel, can steal Darkhawk, Iron Man, a lot of things going on right now that can be problematic for you, and that your opponent is trying to, help power their game state. Rogue totally disrupts that. Werewolf by Night, arguably one of the best 5 cards in the game right now. He just bounces. Everything you do in this deck, he's bouncing. Werewolf by Night is triggered by, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, Rogue is a maybe. I'll get back to Rogue on that. Beast is 6, Loki 7. 7 cards in this deck actively activate Werewolf by Night. And Rogue could be 8. Like sometimes I've had games where I just played Rogue into a location that didn't have an ongoing card just so Werewolf by Night would be triggered by her and move and get the +2. Because if she steals an ongoing ability, Werewolf by Night doesn't move. God, this deck is good. It's very good. If you didn't get Loki with the season pass, I'm sorry. Also, you have an opportunity right now to get Loki in the Spotlight cache that has Mirage and Gladiator. I do not recommend getting Gladiator, but if you don't have Loki, you need to open some Spotlight caches to get Loki. Hands down. So more times than not, I want to be playing Werewolf by Night on 3 if I see him here. If not, then I'll just beast a couple of the 1-drops that I've played already, and just keep going there. If I see Loki, the best part about this deck is that you can just kind of nope out of a bad situation. If your draws you're not hitting your draws and things aren't really just going well, you can just, if you get lucky, you can play a Werewolf by Night and then just Loki out of there. Loki, and now of course, if your opponent is playing a deck that you're like, I don't really want to take any of those cards. If your opponent is playing Hella Tribunal or a Clog deck, which is problematic for you, one of your worst matchups, then you might not want to switch those decks out, unless you have Collector on the board and then you just want to buff Collector, on a late turn on turn 6, right? You've got a lot of options and a lot of pathways to victory for this deck. It's very good, and I will jump into some games here and just keep talking about this deck because it is hands down. Again, some people do it a couple different ways, but it's still the best deck in the game. There are a couple contenders for like next in line. Like I said, the Inshinaut deck is still very good, but this is just, see, in this situation here, I'm just gonna full float and just play Collector because Nico and Maria Hill are 1s. And that's not going to happen because it's a card pulled down my Nico. I wish it would have pulled Collector. And there goes my Nico. But the next thing I play, I have to remember is going to turn into a demon. So I can't play Collector here on turn 2. And he did not want his Lady Deathstrike to come out that early. He's not sad about it, but that's not what he wanted. So let's get Maria Hill down. She's going to trigger. She's also going to turn into a demon, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. Definitely Collector next turn. Ooh, right in the Stark Tower. Ooh. I'm digging Werewolf by Night here. Also, I think that's the better play. Because if I play Collector here, it's not getting any bump. Right? If I play Werewolf by Night this turn, I can play Collector into something else that can trigger a bump for Collector. So we're going to go Werewolf by Night here. And the destroy is in full effect here. I've Loki'd into destroyed decks and my opponent has immediately retreated. Where I pulled like 5 of their cards and they're just like, nope. Let's do Collector here and let's do Falcon left side. I'm not gonna go Falcon middle. Oh wait. Gamma Lab is toast here, so Gamma Lab does nothing. Why did that? Oh, okay, I see what happened there. Okay. Oh, Magic. Oh, so he's going full. He's got Null. If you're playing Magic, that means he wants to do Null Deadpool on turn 7. Because I haven't seen X23 yet. Doesn't mean he doesn't have it, but just means he hasn't. Oh, and I have Rogue, which I could maybe try to save and snipe his Null. We'll see. Let's do. This one's tough. This is tougher. Let's do Demon, Beast. No. Yeah, man, that's a rough plane line on that. I'm not sure. Or I could Demon middle, Beast, and then I get a 0 power Demon to play. But I'm not sure if he's played Killmonger or not. This is a tough play line. I'm just gonna do this. I don't know if this is right. I'm just gonna do it. Okay, still have an opportunity to get Loki here. 0 power Demon, nothing wrong with that.
All systems go.
I was thinking about bumping Collector, but that +2 off of Stark Tower is just too nice there. That was too hard to pass up. I'm not sure whether or not I'm trying to like feign priority here. Like a throw priority. Proper terminology. I'm not sure. I think I am. In which case, I'm just going to play Chavez in the middle. Because I want him to put his Null on the board. But he's refusing to do that. I think Werewolf by Night makes this... Okay, if he has Venom, he's going to play Venom on the right, but... This is interesting. Okay, Loki I can't... I mean, Loki I could still do something here with, but... I think if he has... Null, he might be looking to put Null in the left location. Which... If I miss, then Werewolf by Night jumps over here. If that's not a good hit. And then I think Loki, Demon. Let's go for it. Lock it in. There's the Null, baby. There's the Null. Let's go. Sometimes you just get lucky. Werewolf by Night is gonna jump over there, but I still have Demon coming there for 6 more power. That's the power of the Loki deck. Mind you, Rogue was I had to kind of like soul read Okay, where is he? If he has null, I knew right away once I saw the magic he wanted to go null Deadpool on turn 7. But let's jump into one more game here just to give you a little bit more of a feel of, again, if you're not familiar with how this deck works, which, you know, is fair if you don't, because not everybody has the card. A lot of people have it, but it has multiple play lines, different directions you can go in, as I've said before. But let us see. Let's see what this game is. That's the fun, but that's why Loki's so fun, because you're like, let's see what this game's gonna be. Who knows? Look at this. Look at this line. I got Maria Hill. I got Snowguard. I got Jeff. I got Collect. I got Werewolf by Night. Thank you, America Chavez. I'm gonna float again, just like I did the first game. Okay, Nebula. Because I have Collector. If I didn't have Collector in hand, I would have played Snowguard or Maria Hill on that first. Oh my god, we got Loki. Lord have mercy. This is a snap situation. I got a snap here. Okay, it looks like I'm playing a bot, because usually when you snap and the snap is like an immediate snap back, generally that means your opponent. I'm not sure what might be over here, so let's this could be Murder World, right? Or maybe it's not. I thought for sure that was a bot. Usually bots can only react that fast when you snap. We'll see. Unless my opponent had already initiated a snap. Oh my word, Great Web. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna go Werewolf by Night in Great Web. This should be interesting because of Great Web. And he's dropping an Electro onto my side of the board. Wow. Oh, Great Web screwed him. And I am going to full take advantage of this. Let's go. Oh yeah, you are toast, my friend. Let's go Forge into Snowguard, into Maria Hill, and activate Werewolf by Night, jumping all over the board. See, like, this is what I was kind of describing before. He plays Sandman, but see, here's the thing. I already got this kicking now. So now next turn I'm gonna play Loki because he played Sandman. So I'm gonna try to get whatever he's got cooking. If he's got a Doctor Doom or he's got something like that, I'm gonna try to snag that from him. Let's see. Like I said, I'm just playing Loki here because if you can play one card, you play Loki. I'm taking 6 cards out of his deck. So let's see what 6 cards out of his starting deck I can get. I'm hoping it's, well, Professor X there. I'm hoping it's Doom, or, well, of course he'd be playing Goliath. That's no surprise there. Which makes me very intrigued as to what direction to go with this turn. Because if he has Goliath, he's gonna play that middle. Which means I lose that location. He has priority, which makes it even worse, because otherwise I would say, oh, let me play Professor X and something else, whatever. Goliath is 3, which would give him 7 on that side of the board. Because I'm thinking go Miss Marvel into Wave in the Forge lane. Because he can't do anything in the left lane. So if I do... Is this one of those situations where I just hope he doesn't have Goliath? That's a big risk to take here. Oh, that's right. I can only play 1 card. Okay. Forgot about Sandman. Yeah, I got nothing for this. Because if he has Goliath, that's an easy win for him. Because Miss Marvel is only going to add 5. That's going to be 6. Goliath is going to go make this 7. Or Doom, right? Yeah, I got to get out of there. So, while that could have gone my way, all it takes is just that one, like, just that one oomph of, oh, because I didn't have priority, because of that sunspot that he dropped over there underneath that Professor X, that kind of hurt me there a little bit. So Good play by him. But that was just a clip in a different direction, and that game could have been won. Nevertheless, Loki's the best deck in the game. Loki's the best deck in the game. And again, like I said, honorable mention to that Inchinaut deck that I showcased. And aside from that, there's a couple other fledgling kind of decks. Heck, that Queens of Marvel deck that I posted, please, if you haven't checked that video out, please check it out. I've made a little bit of adjustments to it. I've added Jean Grey and Gamora. I took out a couple things, but I'm even running a 61%. No. Yeah, I think it's 61%. Or it's either 61 or 63. I'm sorry. I don't remember. The perils of ADHD. That deck is still over a 60% win rate. Let's just go with that. Let's go with that. In how many games have I played with that deck? 50-ish? 50-ish? Between 40 and 60. It's surprisingly good. I feel like it's funny because it has no business getting wins, but it does. It's still a completely all-female, deck. The female power there of Marvel. Anyway, that's it. Play Loki. If you don't have Loki, use some of those spotlight caches because you're not going to get much upcoming that's better than Loki. So use those spotlight caches, get Loki this week, and have fun. Okay, so thank you for joining me for another Marvel Snap video. Please like and subscribe. I am Flash. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.